back up, Lord. I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench this thirsting of my soul.
Hello, I'm Kate Lewis Brown. I'm a member and ruling elder at Tuscarora Presbyterian Church here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. I'd like to just kind of let you know a little bit about Martinsburg because it's the reason for our new worshiping community idea. Martinsburg was formed in the late 1700s, but it was a thriving city. It had 6 textile mills at one point. It had a hospital and a nursing school. It had department stores, a hotel with a ballroom. It was really quite a place. And then, as happened in so many places, when the textile industry moved south, Martinsburg began to sort of go downhill. Very sadly, it's a lovely city. I hope someday you'll get a chance to visit it. But one of the problems that then happened was that the drug industry moved in here, and we have a really serious drug and alcohol problem in the city. I should say substance abuse disorder problem in the city. And we have a lot of homeless, and sadly, a good number of the homeless are veterans who didn't complete the substance abuse program at the Veterans Hospital that's here in Martinsburg. So there are a lot of us that have held Martinsburg in our hearts for some time. And in 2019, I had been listening and learning and reading about the new worshiping communities and was really interested in the whole concept. And I had this vision that maybe what we could do would be to set up a new worshiping community in downtown Martinsburg. But you need a vehicle. You can't just go out in the street and say, come on in and worship with us. You have to get to know people, and they have to get to know you and trust you. And so we needed a vehicle to do that. And the idea came that maybe a coffee shop would be a good place for us to bring people together, to get to know each other, and also offer a place for those in recovery to come where there is no alcohol and there are no drugs. And so we started in the summer of 2019, just even exploring the idea, and we formed a leadership team in that fall of 2019. And the leadership team has been made up of both pastors and lay people in the area, and it's been working very diligently ever since, and it's a long time. But one thing about it is the Holy Spirit has directed everything that we do, and sometimes we've had to be redirected because you go off on tangents that really aren't the right way to go, and you see that afterwards. But so I just want to make sure everybody understands that this wasn't just us. This was the work of the Holy Spirit, and still is. Now, in March of 2020, we were awarded a grant from the Committee on New Congregational Development, just as, to get us started. And I have to look at these words. We became an intentional formation partnership with the CNCD. And then in June of 2020, we were awarded a grant from the 1001 New Worshiping Communities to help get us started. Also in June, unfortunately, we learned that a coffee shop run by a church cannot be nonprofit. And that kind of gave us some heartburn. And but we now we'll have two halves to a whole. We'll have the for-profit coffee shop and the nonprofit worship center, for lack of a better word. During the pandemic, things kind of slowed down, but we kept talking, and you know, it takes a lot of discussion and a lot of often conflicting opinions, but we worked through that all, and maybe that downtime that the pandemic offered really was helpful in that sense. Now, in December of this past December, the Committee on New Congregational Development awarded us a grant that was be startup money for the coffee shop. And since that time, things have really rolled. We leased space where we are right now for the coffee shop, and we incorporated as the community, it's not the, but Community Cup Coffee and More LLC. And we lease space, which is where we are, in really smack dab in the middle of Martinsburg, and which is wonderful because that's where we want it to be. And since that time, we've had the city officials come in. We've been looking for contractors. We've been doing all the groundwork that has to be done to set a coffee shop up. And I'll digress to say that I was trained as a barista, which is kind of funny, but I also was trained in how to open a coffee shop. And what we came to decide that because of the income level of the people that we're hoping to bring into the shop, we decided not to be a specialty coffee shop, because you have to have high prices to make that work. So we're going to have freshly ground, fair trade coffee, both regular and decaf, and teas of all kinds, and also sodas and hot chocolate and other things like that, and some pastries. We're not going to cook or bake here, but we will buy the frozen pastries, and frankly, that's what Starbucks does, so it's okay. We'll heat them up and serve them. So that's our view and our vision, and it's coming to reality, and I'm hoping that in a few months from now we'll actually be in business, and I hope you'll come and join us.
Fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench this thirsting of my soul. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Fill my cup, fill it up and make me whole.